Hi guys, it's Sherry. Today we are going to be playing with some stencils. Well, a stencil. I got a bunch of stencils in the mail and I ordered these about a week ago. I'm super excited. I never played with these type of stencils before. I only played with the Marlar ones. So I'm excited to try these out. I did a little sample piece. So that's what we are going to be playing with today. So I grabbed my white Primo clay. And I'm going to roll this out and condition it real well. And then I'm going to put this on my 4th thickest setting. All right, so I have my clay rolled out. It's well conditioned. Next, I'm going to lay this down. And then I'm just going to get a sponge. I'm going to roll over it. All right, so once that's rolled out, get your black acrylic paint. This is the paint that I'm going to use. And then just go over your piece. Okay, so once all your stuff is covered in your paint, you're going to carefully start lifting it up. And then you have this beautiful design. I absolutely love this. So I'm going to go set this in some water. They are very easy to clean, but I don't want to scrub it down, so I'm going to just go set it in water quick. Let that dry. I'm just going to trim this up so I don't waste any of my good white clay. I'm going to give this a few minutes to dry. So the next thing I did was roll out my red Primo clay. And I'm just going, and you need to make sure this is completely dry before you do that. I'm going to slap this right on top of here. I'm just going to get my deli paper and then carefully just kind of rub that there. I'm not mushing it or anything like that. I want to keep my stuff raised, but I want to make sure I have good contact with my red clay. And then let's just trim that up, put that off to the side because we will be using some more of this. This one's still a tad bit wet, so I'm going to give that a couple minutes to dry. And then I have different size cutters here. So I absolutely love these cutters. They're very sharp. And I'm going to make a pair of earrings and a pendant. So let me see if I have enough to do my pendant. I do, but I almost feel like I'd rather get it off of there. So I'm going to do my earrings here. I want to get a really cool design. I want to make sure I'm getting like a little of everything. And okay, grab one more right here. So you have this beautiful back. And you see it's sealed shut because when you push the cutter into the clay, it kind of seals it together. Beautiful. Okay. All right, that's good. And first thing I'm going to do is get my pendant. I'm going to get a bunch in the pendant area. And then another earring. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to place these in my oven. This is all Primo clay, 275. All right, so while my pieces are in the oven, I'm gonna get out my little petal cutter and my little petal press. And I'm gonna grab my red clay, and then I am just gonna start cutting out some of the large ones. Get a small circle cutter, cut out 2 of those. And you're going to want a tile to work on. This way, once you start building it up, you don't have to move it. So get your red dot, put it right down, and then let's take some of our petals and we're going to start pressing them. So very, very easy. I'm keeping everything nice and thin. So now this clay is rolled out to a number 5. So it is my middle section of my pasta machine. So as you squish your clay, it's going to get thinner. So just keep that in mind. I have all my petals done. So I'm just going to take my dotting tool and then I'm going to start laying these out. I actually want to flip this one. I'm slightly taking my petals and just overlapping the other petals. So very, very slightly. So you'll see they're just barely overlapping. And then you get that really nice look. Adjust your petals any way that you would like them. Now I'm going to grab some of my scrap clay here. This is just black. I want to make sure, I'm going to run this through my pasta machine because I really need to make sure that this is conditioned well so I can make real tiny noodles. I'm going to just kind of crunch it up again. And when you make these noodles, you want them to be super, super thin, okay? We don't want them thick at all because they won't look right. So I'm going to show you. That's about the thickness you're going to want. So nice and tiny. And you're going to make a bunch of these. All right, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my dotting tool. And then I'm going to start grabbing some of these real tiny pieces here. And then I'm going to lay them out on here, all right? Now, they do not have to be perfect at this moment. You just want to kind of lay them down. I'm going to go in a circular motion. If that one comes off. All right. Now, normally I would use different colors for the middle, but I want to keep this just a black, white, and red piece. So normally I would add like maybe different greens and browns together to make my centerpiece. But this particular piece, I do not want to do that. So I'm just going to make a little ball. I'm going to kind of measure it, see if that's going to be too large. And cut just a little bit off. And now I need 2 of those. Because you want to keep them the same size, so do both of them right away to make sure that they're going to be very similar in size. All right. Now I'm going to take the back of my blade here, and I'm going to go right across, and then let me show you here. I'm going to show you this way because it'll be easier for me to show you. So go across that way, across there, there. So you're kind of making like a little star. And that's going to be the center of our flower. Let me get this right in the middle. And now I'm going to take a bunch of other little tiny ones, and then I'm going to fill up the sides of those pieces. But I really want small ones. So that's what it's going to look like right now. And then we're going to get real small ones if it comes off, and just push it right down onto the sides, because we want these to stick up a bit. I'm going to glue this down. That's going to help me. Oh, that's a lot. That is too much. I'm making a mess today, guys. And that's going to help it stay exactly where it needs to go, at least. I'm going to start pulling these up a bit. So you basically want to take these little pieces that we just put and start pulling them up right around that centerpiece. And then I can start adding my other pieces. All right, so that's what we have. So do the same thing to that one, and then I'll pop back on and show you the next step. So here they are. Look how beautiful those look. So now I'll put these in the oven, and I'm going to bake these for a ½ hour as well, and then we'll come back and finish these all up. All right, so now my pieces are out of the oven. I got to let them completely cool off. What I'm going to do is I decided I'm going to put one small flower on top of here, because we're going to edge these off in a beautiful red. And I want my earrings to match my pendant really nice. So I'm going to get my other ones, and I'm going to make a much smaller one to place on here. So I'm going to do that. And while I do that, those will cool off, and then we'll start edging our pieces. All right, so I jumped ahead and I did these ones, but I'm going to show you exactly how I did that on my pendant. So I'm going to push these off to the side because these will have to get rebaked. And you're going to grab your pendant and then just grab some of your Sculpey oven baked clay adhesive and put that right around your edge. Get the entire thing covered. And it doesn't have to be thick. You just need something to adhere to it. And then get your strip of red. And then you're going to start going right around it. And then you're just going to kind of measure it or pinch it together so the back is leveled with the front. And then get your sponge. You could use any sponge. This is just a kitchen sponge, so it's nothing special. And then start pressing into it, okay? We're going to mark that all up and we're going to give it some texture. You see how it's moving? Just push it right back into place. And you don't have to do a lot of pressure, just enough to give it texture. Plus this kind of helps, at least I think it helps, push the clay into that glue and really helps it adhere to it. You'll see I'm just pushing it all together. And then I'm going to go look at the back. I'm going to clean up anything that's extra. And then I just kind of rub that and blend that together right with the seam. And look how beautiful. Next, I have my little flower that I made. So I did that exactly the same as I did the other one. And now I'm just going to kind of decide how I want to place this on here, where exactly I want to place it. How do I want to hang it? I think I'm going to hang it up there and put that onto the side. Look carefully. Kind of stuck on there. There we go. Put a little glue there. And then put my flower right on there. I'm going to take my little dotting tool and just press that right into place. And that will be our pendant. Now, you could decide, do you want to do a clay clasp or do you want to use a metal clasp? If you want to do a clay clasp, right now is the time to do it. If you want to do a metal one, you would do that afterwards. I'm actually going to use a metal one this time around. And at this point, I'm going to put these all in the oven, rebake these again, and then we'll come back and finish these completely up. I just took my pieces out of the oven. I let them cool off. So now I want to put the backs on, but I also want to add a little eyelet hook, okay? or eyelet pin, I should say. So what you got to do for that is get your super glue. Put just the tiniest little dot on there. You don't need a lot. And then put your post there. Center it up. And then give that about a minute to dry. This dries really quick. And then you want to kind of decide what's going to be the top, what's going to be the bottom. I'm going to eye up to see what is similar, because I want them to be very close together. So this is going to be my top right there. So make sure that whatever you have as your top is going to be facing the correct direction, because you want to make sure that you put that eyelet pin in the right direction. And truthfully, a flower, it doesn't really matter. It's just something that I personally want to have very similar. So right there is going to be my top. I'm going to take my clay adhesive. I'm going to put a little bit there. Get that right around there. Make sure you cover it up. Get right over that post. And then put your eyelet hook right there. Okay? And then cut your circle. I just used something that's going to cover up my post. And then you're going to go right in the center of that circle and then push it down. All right? So there's the beginning. Make sure it's lined up properly. It looks good. And then start pressing it down. You want to make sure that it's nice and pressed down. No air is underneath there. And then I have a sponge here. This is a filter for like a fish aquarium. And then you're just going to take your earring, go right in there and push that in there. And that's going to give you texture on the back, plus put everything right where it needs to be. And look how easy that was. It's perfect. So now these can go right in the oven as well. And then everything will be ready to go. All right, guys. So my pieces are out of the oven. I'm going to show you how I did this earring and show you how to do the pendant. And these I will do off camera. So the first thing that you want to do is get a drill bit. So for the earrings, I'm going to do a small drill bit. And I'm going to go right in the middle. And I'm leaving enough space in between the top and my hole, so this way I don't break through and ruin my piece. So just go right in the middle. And then go down and clean your hole out. Very, very simple. I'm going to use a oval jump ring. So just open that up and then place that right inside the earring and then close it up. Yeah, pretty. These are so nice. I really like these a lot. And make sure that I have enough wiggle room. Okay. And then for this, what you're going to do is you're going to get your pliers and then you're going to bend it over initially like that. Okay. And then you're going to go and make your loop. Now do not close it all the way yet. And then close it. And there you go. And there's your earring. So very, very easy and simple. If you want to make sure that it's closed all the way, just take your flat pliers and there you go. So Very simple. I'm going to wiggle this. I want to make sure I have some play here. Okay. Next, you're going to go and put your gloss glaze on. I'm using the Sculpey gloss glaze. And then let this completely dry. For my pendant, I'm going to use a larger drill bit. And how do I want this? Oh, right there? Yeah, I'm going to go right there. All right, so now I have my wire. And I'm going to get a nice size here. And then I have my tool. And I'm going to go to the second one because I don't want it overly big. And I'm going to wrap my wire. I'm going to go about 4 times. Actually, let's go 5. Let's go 5 times. And then let's twist that. Get that nice and tight. So you'll end up with a spiral that looks like that. Okay, can you see that? And I'm gonna lift it up like that. I want to put this one in this direction. Let me pull that. I'm gonna get it nice and tight. Now, I'll tell you right out, I am no professional when it comes to bales, but I have never had an issue with my bales when I do make them. And I'm going to go back in that direction and pull that tight. And now I'm going to wrap that around. Where's my flat pliers? Right here. Let me get that nice and flat. And then this, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And I'm going to crisscross it as I go through. All right, now I'm going to start wrapping it around here. And then I'm going to get this nice and full. And cut that. Get that nice. Make sure nothing's going to catch anybody's shirt or anything like that. I am going to end up putting a little bit of resin on that little area. And then the cool thing is you open it up and you got this really neat veil. So it's not as nice and fancy as some people, but I like it. I think it's cute. And it's fairly simple and easy to do. So lastly, I am going to put my liquid Sculpey on here. All right, guys, so here are my pieces complete. Look how beautiful those are. I absolutely love these, and I cannot wait to wear these. The pendant is still a little wet. I want to get a really beautiful chain for this, but I really think these came out fabulous. I love how the stencils worked so nicely. I hope that you guys enjoy creating these pieces with me. If you did, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.